Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. Happy New Year. Today's date is January 2nd, 2026. What I'm going to do in this session is take you through some of my favorite trades to be targeting. Specifically, I'm going to teach you opening range breakouts and I'm going to teach you immorellos, but I'm really going to teach you the nuances get around intraday relative strength. So I'm going to start off with an ORB in FLNC because it's kind of easier because there's only one data point, which is often the first 5 minute candlestick of the session. Then I'm going to take you through ONDS, which is an Immorello, and also the point about dialing in and looking for intraday relative strength. So this is the last 7 days, and one of my objectives as a trader and just in life in general is just be really, really consistent. If you think about your favorite sports team and your favorite player on the sports team, they are probably one of the most consistent players. So I think to do anything at a high level, it is all about consistency. The more consistent you can be, invariably, the better you will perform. So my main goal for trading 2026 is just be consistent in everything that I do. So consistency in terms of the type of setups I'm trading, consistency in terms of the right stocks that I'm trading, consistency in terms of the sizing, the position management, and all of that. So just consistent, consistent, consistent. That's what I try and do on a daily basis. So this is the last 7 days. Obviously, this is a Saturday, that's a Sunday, that's New Year's Day. So that's why you don't see anything there. And the green is the NDX, so the Nasdaq 100. Okay, so up nearly 2%, up over 1%, up maybe 0.25%. And then so far today up over a percent. So just steady, 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 consistent, consistent, consistent. That is the goal. That is the objective. So with this in mind, I'm going to show you the type of setups that I invariably target on a day-to-day basis and just take you through some of the nuances. If any of you then want to join in a little bit later on in the in session, please let me know via the chat and I'll bring you in for the bar by bar. So everything that we do from in this session is going to be from today. So the idea is we're going to look at FLNCs, 5 minute ORB that I'm about to show you. I'm going to teach you some of the nuances on the daily chart about relative strength, looking at that too. Then intraday relative strength, so you're looking for relative strength across multiple time frames. It is so important in this market environment. There's just algo dominated and there continues to be an increasing proliferation of algos operating in this market. We're then going to go through two Immorellos on ONDS, and then we're going to go through various things from today, and again dialing in looking for intraday relative strength. So we've got some of the quantum boys, we've got some of the financials, and then we got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So let's see how we get. Let me start off with 5 minute RB in FLNC. So everything is going to be from today's date, Jan 2nd. Okay, so we're going to play forward the first 5 minute candlestick of today's session. And as we go through a little bit later on in the session, and we're going to look at more 5 minute opening range breakouts from today, such as INTC, as SNDK, CCJ, Kamiko, you're going to notice the same thing. And that's the thing. It's about just trying to make it really simple, and you're trying to do the same thing. So I like the book, The Playbook by Mike Bellafiore, SMB Capital, and it's about developing your playbook. So for me, the two main setups in my playbook that I trade most frequently are opening range breakouts and Immorellos. They're the two that I'm going to show you. I also like trigger bars, shakeout demand times, gap down reverse bars when we're in a nice swing trading market environment, which I don't think we're there yet. If you take a look at the characteristics of this opening 5 minute candlestick, and we've got FLNC loaded up over the SPY, what do you see? What's important? And the biggest determining factor about whether a stock can go up or not in the future, because we don't know the future, but I think the number one determining factor is the degree to which you see intraday relative strength, specifically around a setup. That's going to be an ORB for me or an Immorello, okay? So what do you see? Well, what does FLNC do? What do we see from a supply and demand perspective? Well, what I see is a stock that has been consolidating on the daily chart. Let me get this, and we'll change this to a blue color so we can see it a little bit better. So you see this here? Consolidating around a clustering of key daily moving averages. These are going to be important. You've got the 10-day EMA, the 21-day EMA, and the 50-day SMA. They're going to be arguably the most three important daily moving averages that the vast majority of traders, market operators, algos focus on. Okay, they're the ones which you see leading stocks trade around the most, whether it be big pullbacks, whether you see consolidations. So when you have a leading stock that is around key daily moving averages like this, and they are clustering and you get a period of price contraction, you want to pay attention to that, especially if it's displayed relative strength. So if you take a look at Friday, we're not actually even going to look at today's session, okay, so far. If you take a look at sorry, today's Friday, isn't it? Wednesday, the 31st of December. Take a look at this bar. Okay, this bar, 31st of December. And you may go, what do you mean? It's just like a doji on the 50. It's not that important, is it? Well, let's take a look at the SPY on that day. Look at the SPY. Wednesday, the 31st of December. Okay, a couple of days ago. Look at this bar. Look at this bar. What's stronger? This is the key. We're not only looking for relative strength on one time frame, can we find relative strength across multiple time frames? Because when I show you what FLNC then does today, and then you start to see, oh, there's common characteristics for what stocks do when they tend to go on big runs. So if you take a look at FLNC on Wednesday, 31st of December, it does this little kind of doji, low volume, bar, daily, whatever, around the 50. But then when we put it in contrast versus the SPY on that day, Wednesday, the 31st of December, the SPY is a big ugly bar, isn't it? Okay, opens on the high of the bar, goes out on the low of the bar, goes through the 10 like it's not even there, goes through the 21 like it's not even there, pop in the volume, it's ugly, and that's probably down around about an ADR or so, actually over its ADR. 0.82% versus 0.7% for the 20-day ADR percentage is a really bad day for the SPY. But FLNC is just like a day. But an day, in contrast to what the SPY did, that's showing a lot of relative strength. Now, what you tend to see as well is relative strength. Okay, you start to see the relative strength before absolute strength. So you tend to see that a stock, it may not go anywhere. Like it may just go sideways, but even going sideways, it can show a lot of relative strength. But the relative strength precedes the absolute strength. The absolute strength is actually when the stock goes on a big move. So you tend to see relative strength before a big move, especially if you get a period of price contraction where the stock is displaying relative strength. So if you take a look at the SPY and we back it out a little bit more, and we include maybe the 3 sessions before or 2 sessions before, I'd say generally here the SPY is in a downtrend. Yeah, short-term downtrend. Mid-term, long-term uptrend, but short-term momentum is clearly to the downside. Whereas when we look at FLNC, well, what's FLNC doing? It's just going sideways. And you may go, so what? It's just going sideways. Well, it's going sideways along the 50, which is a really important moving averages when the SPY is doing this. This is relative strength. So it's not only showing relative strength on the 31st of December, back it out more. Showing more relative strength. It's even trying to break out and go on this day. Yes, it forms a supply shoot, but it was just the index wasn't letting it go. Okay. So what we see heading into the session is we have a stock that's traded in a period of price contraction, is displaying relative strength there, clustering around the 10, 21 and the 50, has a really good ADR, is a really nice trading stock. Like it can go on big moves, intraday moves, it can go on big trends like this. FLNC is a nice trading stock. Okay, see here, ping off the 21-day EMA, here off the 50 and 65-day EMA. Like FLNC, I like trading FLNC, okay? So it's looking really, really constructive. And then what do we see today? Yeah, all of these are today. Today, heading into session, what do you see the first 5-minute candlestick is? What does it do? What does it look like? Because FLNC is going to go on a big move today. So what did it do? What are the characteristics? Well, we're picking up what it did on the daily time frame, but here, okay, opens near the low, little shakeout to Martel. This black moving average that you see here and the blue moving average that you see here, or these black line and the blue line, that is the 10-day and 21-day off the daily chart. See that? If I zoom right in, there's the 10, there's the 21, there's the 10, there's the 21. There's an indicator, search my name, TRADINGVIEW, you'll find it. So that opens near the low of the bar, little shakeout to Martel, ping off of those moving averages and closes right on the high of the bar. It couldn't have closed any higher, couldn't have closed any stronger. And it's doing that relative to the SPY doing this. Look at the opening 5-minute candlestick for the SPY. Okay, it's trading inside the prior day's range, one, where FLNC is breaking out through the high of the prior day's range, more relative strength when you then look, not only look on the 5-minute chart in isolation, you then bring it back to the daily chart as well. It's breaking out through the prior session's high, reclaiming these overhead moving averages. The SPY is nowhere near yesterday's high of day. It's just an inside day that's then losing the 5-minute EMA. Tries to go, supply shoot here, opens near the high, supply shoot, goes out, weak close. See the contrast, see the relative strength, but we're not just looking for relative strength here. We're looking for relative strength everywhere. Like how much relative strength can we find? And the more relative strength, the better. Like relative strength is the biggest determining factor, I think, in what a stock does next. Relative weakness as well is also one of the biggest determining factors in what a stock does next in terms of a downside move. I think it's the #1 thing to focus on in 2026, relative strength. I'm blabbering on it. So let's do this. Here we're just going to target through the high, stop loss underneath the low like this. And let's change this from... Oh, let's keep it even more simple. Let's not even use the fib tool on it. Let's just go there, change this to blue, and hit. Because now we're going to talk about the relative strength standpoint from trade management. I think this stuff here is relatively easy to learn in terms of the identification. Where the game is really played is actually in the trade management side of things. So these are the type of setups. I'm going to pop this up again. This is the last 7 days of trading. Okay, just consistent. That is my #1 goal as a trader. And these type of setups help me, it may not help you, but they help me try and be really consistent as a trader, this kind of stuff. Then when we get into the trade, what I'm continuing to do is look for intraday relative strength. The stronger a stock is, the more I want to hold it. And why I think this is really important, case in point, let me just go and load up Apple today, okay? Let me go here, let me go Apple. because Apple was able, this is what these algos do, okay? They've completely changed how things move intraday, but they actually make it more predictable in nature. So if you take a look at Apple, opens here, okay, not a bad 5 minute RB, shows some relative strength, certainly versus the SPY. Let's say versus, well, actually still versus the triple Qs. Actually, Apple was pretty good here. Reclaiming the 50, the 10, powers through the 21-day EMA, then push, 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 push. So you think, I'm onto a big one. Look at this. Apple, go, 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 go. Up here, it's looking great. Down here, it's not looking so great. This is why I'm then going to talk about intraday moving averages that can help from a trade management standpoint as well. And if you keep seeing the type of action like Apple, what is Apple currently saying to you? Is it saying it's a great swing trading market? Not based on what Apple just did today. It's telling you, I think, it's better to be an intraday trader. Managing positions more so intraday. You want to keep some back for a big move? Keep it back for a big move. But when I see action like this, where Apple just go, 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 and then it rolls over like this just tells me algos are dominating the market, playing all kind of games. And this is not a swing trading market. This is one where I want to be, okay, in there, and then back-to-back closes below the 5 minute 6 EMA, intraday relative weakness, out. And then I want to sit for all of this. Because it's really annoying. We've all been there. You have a nice gain on the trade, and then an hour later you stopped out and you're going, what the just happened there? Like, what just happened there? So if we go and take a look at FLNC today, we see a little bit of a contrast here in terms of it keeps on showing intraday relative strength. This is what the best stocks do. Now, when you get in these type of ones, these for me, in terms of ORB specifically, are the type of 20% of trades that make up 80% of the profits. So you're then trying to train your mental representation to go, I could be in a big one here. So let me show you. FLNC breaks out. Is it continuing at 9:35 today, 2nd of Jan, to show relative strength versus the SPY? Yes. New higher day, powerful candlestick, whereas the SPY, not so. Let me turn this on. It's easier than follow, isn't it? So here, powering out, increased volume. Nice. A lot of buying there. Not the only one watching it. Then we keep going. Now I'm going to go to 950. Keeps going. Here we go, 945. Still powering higher. We're going to talk about 20-day ADR percentage shortly. SPY starting to turn around off the 10-day EMA. So SPY starting to form maybe a little shakeout demand tail here. See how the game changes. SPY, okay, nice shakeout. Looks like the SPY may want to rally here. Go on a nice run. FLNC. Well, if the SPY is going to start now rallying, FLNC could really get the wind in its sails. Okay, let's keep playing it forward. Now we get 950. 950, SPY forms a supply shoot as it tries to make a high of day break. Where things happen are important. So SPY tries to make a new high of day break here, has a supply shoot. Yeah, it's usually not a very good sign for the indexes when they do that. High of day break, supply shoot. Okay, the trend is still up. We will see. Keep playing it forward. Keep playing it forward. I want to go to where something kind of meaningful happens for the SPY. Now we are half an hour into a trade or something. Okay, what does the SPY do again? On attempting near another high of day break, another supply shoot. What has FLNC just done? FLNC has broken out through the high of day, but what do you notice about the volume? New highest volume of the session. So if we think about that and what's happening, is it continuing to display intraday relative strength? It's just broken out to a new high of day after forming this little kind of trigger bar on the 5 minute chart on that looks to be the lowest volume of the session. And then it breaks out new high of day, increased volume. Opens on the low, strong close. SPY, supply shoot, failing to go around high of day. FLNC continues to state, I'm really, really strong. Nothing to do right now other than just ride it. We keep going. Another high day break. SPY, faltering. Starting to turn around here. Continues to show strength. There's no reason to get out of it. The stronger a stock is, the more I want to hold. The old Jesse Livermore quote of stocks will give you a key or a signal when to get in. They'll give you a signal when to get out. Now, what do we see here with the SPY? Flush down, that looks like a new low of day there. Flush down, new low of day, pop in the volume, ugly bar, FLNC. Okay, it's a red bar, but look at it in contrast. Still above the 5 minute 6 EMA. MACD is still positive. Is it saying hold me or get out of me? Continues to just say hold me, hold me, hold me. Go again. And again. Now it starts to close below the 5 minute 6 EMA. And the MACD is starting to turn down. This is now where we can also think about 20-day ADR percentage, okay, the fuel tank, so to speak. So we know that the average daily range of FLNC over the last 20 days, let's just call it 10%. So from the low of the day to the high of the day is 10%, excluding gaps. I like to do it excluding gaps. Why? Because if I'm then looking at a stock intraday, what I'm then doing is I'm just sitting it on the low there, pinging it to the high there. Let me just do that again for you, okay? So what I'm then doing and why I like the ADR percentage on a 20-day is because then when I'm measuring a stock's move intraday, I've got this figure here, and this is then how I'm measuring. I'm not measuring the gap. I'm not interested. I'm just looking at the 5 minute chart going there to the higher day. What do I see? I see 12%. Now, why is that important? Because it's telling me it's exceeded the 20-day ADR percentage. So then if you start thinking about 20-day ADR percentage as fuel within the fuel tank, so the 20-day ADR percentage tells you how big the fuel tank is, and then taking a measurement like this tells you how much fuel is in the fuel tank and how much has been used or has it exceeded it. Right now, FLNC is telling me it's exceeded it. It's quite rare to get a stock trend up 1.52 times along its 5-minute 6 EMA over the 20-day ADR percentage. So I FLNC going up 15% or 20% and just riding the 5-minute 6 EMA. When the stocks do that, and then when they close below the 5-minute 6 EMA, that's usually game over for the session. Right? The stock's just run out of fuel. It's absolutely fine. It's not doing anything wrong. It's just out of fuel. It's probably not going to go much more today. You can also go and look as well and go, okay, when FLNC has a big day, so this is where we will go into, or where we focus on the character of the stock. When FLNC has a big day prior, how big is that day? How far does it go? So if we just look here and go, well, that looks like the biggest day to me, that went up 18%. If we do a couple more, so we kind of get an average. If we go from here to here, okay, that was 16%. If we do maybe two more, this is probably, this one here is maybe the next biggest day. That's 10%. And what's maybe the next biggest one? Maybe this one here. So if we just take some averages there, we got 10, we got 11, we got 16, and we got 18. Rough average, 13, 14% for FLNC is a really big day. So that's telling me it can maybe go 1.3, 1.4 times its 20-day. We're already pretty much there. And if you take a look at the SPY, this is a pretty ugly day for the SPY. This looks like it wants to flush and flush lower. You'd be able to umbrella. But here we can then be thinking, okay, how can we optimize profits? Well, if it starts taking that out and you have back-to-back closes below the 5-minute 6 EMA, that for me would be a sell. Or you could stick it on the low of that bar. Here, back-to-back closes below the 5-minute 6 EMA is essentially game over today for FLNC. The gas is used out, it's probably not going to go much higher. So that would be the exit from an intraday basis, which is what we focus on. Okay. We've got entry, and then we got exit. Play it forward to where we are now. And it's just, this is now a stock that's still strong on the daily chart. So if we just look here, it's still really strong on the daily chart. This live as we're filming this, okay? This day here relative to this day here. You could look at the last 2 candlesticks. You could look at the last 3 or 4 candlesticks. It's really strong. But here, this is just indicating to me, out of gas, probably not going to go much higher today. I don't want to be chasing up here when it's already run. It's kind of marathon for the day, achieved its 20-day ADR percentage. But that there being able to dial in from a trade standpoint, from kind of a trade identification standpoint, look at the daily chart, see the relative strength. Is it showing me relative strength? Where is it in terms of proximity to key daily moving averages? How does it then like to move intraday? Does it like ORBs? Does it like, and back here, there were so many really good ORBs for FLNC. It likes the ORB, it likes the Imrello, it likes to do it from around key daily moving averages. It then likes to show a lot of intraday relative strength. When it does that, it likes to ride the 5-minute 6 EMA, it likes to ride its 5-minute 21. They're the things to then be going and study. Now I'm going to show you again, this time with a Imrello. So hopefully that there kind of makes sense. For ORBs, much kind of easier because there's just one data point, which is usually the first 5-minute candlestick. In Morello's, a little bit more confusing because there's more action that happens. So you've got to kind of piece together more pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. So let's go through ONDS, okay? So I'm going to play this session forward. Let me just make sure I got this and I got this. Okay. So let me play this forward a little bit. And the time that I want to go to is 10:10. Okay, so 9:55. This is from a couple of days ago, or earlier this week. Okay, so this is what you tend to see on Imrellos. Now I'm going to take you through 2 Imrellos, okay, for ONDS. Proximity to key daily moving averages is really, really important. So what we see with ONDS, if we look at the daily chart, we've got the 10-day EMA there, and we've got the 21-day EMA there. We've got this pointer thing. So 10-day EMA, 21-day EMA. We take a look intraday. 10-day EMA, 21-day EMA, we're just kind of sandwiched in between it. What you tend to see on the better Imrellos, so with ORBs, really simple, it's pretty much just that bullish first 5-minute candlestick, and ideally you want to see relative strength on the daily chart prior to that, like we're going through. With Imrellos, okay, the thing that I'm looking for is there relative strength prior? Is there relative strength at? And then is there relative strength post? Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think you have a crystal ball. So we don't know the post. That's what we do from a trade management standpoint. And the stronger a stock is, the more I want to hold it. Okay. We'll then start talking about kind of warning and danger signals to look for as well. Okay. But what we see with FLNC, if we just zoom this in, so this is 10:10, which can be a fairly important time for the when these momentum leaders start turning around. You'll see that pretty much exact same time the next session as well. Okay, that is not by accident. So what we see is the triple Qs for 15 minutes prior. Look at this. Down, down, down. 3 red bars in a row, yeah? Not rocket science. 1 down bar, 2 down bar, 3 down bar, back down to lower day, and the 10-day is right there. What do we see with FLNC on those 3 bars? So this is in the 15 minutes prior to the Morello forming. Okay, kind of shake out red bar, inside bar, and then look at the reversal bar. Specifically on the last bar, look at that strength compared to that. That's what you want to see on Morellos. Like it just stands out so clearly. The indicator's going green there as well. Most of the time that will happen, but not every single time. Does the kind of indicator go green? Depends on the kind of bar, how it's coded, things like that. Okay. The MACD, you can also see, is showing relative strength. See how the MACD is open here on the custom settings, whereas the MACD is crossed to the downside for the triple Qs. This is what you want to see on Morellos. And ideally it's showing strength prior as well. Think about how ONDS is also up here near high of day territory, whereas triple Qs has just rolled down to lower day territory. So it's showing structural intraday relative strength as well, if you're thinking about proximity to higher day relative to lower day. Showing a lot of strength there. So here, entry is going to be through the high of that bar. 2 options for the stop loss: lower day or lower this 5-minute 6 EMA reclaim candle. Because ideally it should now just power higher. So the stop can be, let's call it 1.5% with some slippage, or down there at, let's call it 3%. So you can have a 1.5% stop or a 3% stop. For me, oftentimes I'll ride it pretty tight and go there. If I want to give it a little bit more room, say potentially as a swing as well, I'll stick it on lower day. Here we go. Now what we're going to look for is continued strength. Now ONDS hits a supply shoot as it tries to take out the 10-day EMA and break high of day. Triple Qs, just an inside doji. ONDS is saying, I want to go. I want to go. Let me go. Now we keep playing it forward. Okay, we get a doji. We're right around high of day. Keep playing it forward. It's not doing anything wrong. It's still trending above the 5-minute 6 EMA. Triple Qs is not. As long as it's above the 5-minute 6 EMA, hold it. Try and ride it. Now, what do you start to see? Pressure with the triple Qs is starting to abate. See how it's just kind of going sideways? The volume is tapering off. We're right here at lower day. The 10-day EMA is here. So as soon as the triple Qs just starts drifting sideways momentarily, what is ONDS doing? High day, popping the volume. That's looks to be about the 2nd largest volume bar. That was a bit skew, wasn't it? 2nd largest volume bar of the session. So as soon as the pressure eases for the triple Qs, boom, straight through high day. It's continuing to signal, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And the ONDS likes to go intraday, likes to move like this. Okay, we continue to hold. It's continuing to show strength. Another higher day. Triple Qs there, little shake out demand tail. Keep playing. Okay, a little bit of weakness there, but it's still above the 5-minute 6 EMA. If the stock is above the 5-minute 6 EMA, try to hold it, unless it starts getting extended. Now here we go. Triple Q starts rallying, so triple Qs in Morellos off the 10-day EMA right here through the high of this bar. ONDS keeps going. Now we keep playing it. Can we hold it along that 5-minute 6 EMA? Keeps going. Keeps going. See the rally for the Qs? So triple Qs in Morello, right there. Goes on the high of the bar, MACD turns. That's it there. Now ONDS starting to go. The volume is picking up. Supply shoot here, and now we can think about that ADR percentage point as well, okay? So if we go off the lower day and we go to the higher day, we've got a move here of 11.64%, and that is pretty much the same as the 20-day ADR percentage. This could signal pretty climactic. You got the largest volume bar of the session plus a supply shoot. You want to go lower bar that? You can go lower bar that. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing there as an intraday trade. Why is that showing white? Let's turn that to red. There we go. And then it rolls. Like kind of ums and ahs. But you see how the stock's now not really gone anywhere? I mean, triple Qs is just meandering. But you see how the stock is now just kind of stalling out. And again, that goes back to the point of it's ran its race for the day. It's up its 20-day ADR percentage here. It gets to like 11%. That's the 20-day. Just ebbs and flows. Showing a lot of strength here relative to the triple Qs. Now I'm going to play forward the next session. So we'll go forward to the next day. We'll then do some bar by bar. So if anyone wants to join it, just let me know in the chat. I'll just take you through this ONDS one. Next one. Okay. So I'll then take you through the next session. So ONDS, we can see similar point to what I was blabbering on about with FLNC. We can see strength on the daily chart. Yeah, strength on the daily chart relative to the triple Qs. So it has that going for it coming into the session. And ONDS likes to move like this. Really likes Morello's. Thanks, Nate. Really likes to move like this. So let's zoom this in. Let's zoom this in. Take some water. Okay, so we're going to play it forward. Do you remember what the time was yesterday? The ONDS one? It's going to be pretty much exactly the same thing. Okay, here we go. So the triple Qs is around its 21-day EMA. What does ONDS do? Let's just say in the half an hour, 20 minutes prior to the Immorella. The triple Qs is down, down, down. Yeah. So yes, down, 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 below the 5-minute 6 EMA, the MACD is bearish, yada, yada. ONDS is starting to trend up. See the high low coming through? MACD has turned here. Strong reclaim of the 5-minute 6 EMA. This is what you tend to see on the better of the Immorellas. See that? Closes right on the high of that bar. Look at the triple Qs in contrast. Big, big, big difference here. Triple Qs does that, while ONDS does that. ONDS, if you think about proximity to high of day, is right here, whereas the triple Q is making a new low of day. So you then have the proximity point as well intraday of ONDS is so much stronger. So the entry is going to be through the high of this bar. Let's just turn this magnet on. There's one there. Again, stop can be underneath the low of that bar, or it can be low of day. Depends on your preference, how you want to run it. So here we go. We can see that it's showing relative strength, intraday relative strength prior, what we were just doing. We can see the relative strength on the daily chart. We know how ONDS likes to move. We can see intraday relative strength at the point of the Immorello. And then the question is, are we going to see intraday relative strength post the Immorello setup? So the entry is here, obviously. And how long is that going to continue for? We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. So that's why we just go one bar at a time. And we just keep assessing it. We can also be on the lookout for a change of character. So keep going. Strong, strong, strong. Have we seen change character? Nope, still showing strength. Up here, what do we see? Supply sheet. What did we see yesterday? Do you remember? Up here, supply sheet. When the stock pretty much hit its 20-day ADR percentage. So we want to be on the lookout for supply sheets. Go there, off the low day, we go to here. ONDS is up over its 20-day ADR percentage, 12% versus 11%. And now we've got a supply sheet. Did we see that story yesterday? Yes, we saw that story yesterday. These setups are carbon copies of each other, and it's just run up 10% in 40 minutes or so. I don't think personally, I don't think there's better setups than this. Like, it's pretty easy. Here we go. Clear change character. One close below the 5-minute 6 EMA. So you could tell it up there, lower bar, but you see how it's kind of like meandering now and it's starting to show weakness intraday. Do you see that? How the triple Qs here is starting to now build high lows and ONDS isn't, and you start to get closes below. It's just because the stock's used up its fuel. Like 12% versus 11%. Who's really buying it up there? Are you going to be buying up there? I'm not going to be buying up there. Kind of the smart money, the really smart algo. I don't think so. Not up there. The stock's just kind of run its race for the day. So you can use the 5-minute 21 EMA, the 5-minute 6 EMA. You can go low bar like this when it gets extended and hitting the 21-day EMA. You can potentially hold it for a swing if you want to. I think Immorellos, ORBs, they let me go anywhere, anytime. Really, really, really like them. So setups like that for me just help to try and be like really consistent like this. Like that is my goal. Just consistency. Just being consistent every day. Some days you want to size it, swing bigger. Other days you just want to ease off the gas pedal. Like today has been a bit more of a ease off the gas pedal a bit because the indexes have been a bit kind of funky today. But yeah, so hopefully that's useful. Let's start going through some bar by bar. We had one wanted to join in, Nate wanted to join in. Great. Anyone else wants to join in? Just let me know and I will try and make time for you. Let's bring Juan in.